You ever watch a team flip a season script in one night and feel like you caught them in the act of becoming something? That was Chicago on Friday. Not a miraculous overhaul, not a Twitter-fueled panic reversal, but a measured, muscle and discipline performance that announced, this team is here to stay. From the opening whistle, the Bears played like the visitors who refused to be nervous. Philadelphia came in with an 8-3 record, and the kind of pedigree you don't underestimate. These are basically last year's champions, even if their offense has sputtered. The Bears didn't care about reputations. They punched the clock, ground the Eagles into a flat line with one of the most physical running games you'll see this season, and rarely let Philly find a rhythm. When you leave an opponent with 2 first downs and a half, you didn't win by luck. You won by imposing your will. Ben Johnson's fingerprints were all over it. Everyone wondered how long it would take the Bears to show real identity under a first-year coach who's also carried success elsewhere. Turns out the identity he brought is simple but devastating. Control the clock, win the trenches, and make the other team play out of character. Chicago rolled up 281 rushing yards. That number isn't an outlier, it's a statement. 2 backs over 100 yards in the same game. The Bears hadn't done that since Walter Payton's era in 1985. That's not trivia. That's an old-school throttle on a modern game. Caleb Williams' role in this was quietly perfect. This wasn't a highlight tape of deep shots and heroics. It was a manager's masterpiece. He handed the ball, took the safe throws, and when the moment demanded it, he made the decisive play. A float into the end zone for Cole Kmet that broke the game open with 6:19 left. That throw didn't scream. It landed exactly where it needed to. Williams didn't have to heroically rip the paint off the canvas. He just painted the picture and let the crowd read it. D'Andre Swift and Kyle Monangai turned the running game into a statement. Early dominance, 142 rushing yards in the first half alone, wasn't just fattening the stat sheet. It was flipping the clock, keeping the Eagles' offense on the sideline, and turning the stadium into a slow burn advantage for Chicago. When you can run the ball like that, you remove the opposing offense's best weapon, time and field to mount a comeback. By the fourth quarter, both backs were topping 100 yards. That kind of balanced ground attack is a coach's dream and a defensive coordinator's nightmare. Philadelphia simply couldn't find traction. 2 first downs in the first half is an insult to any offense. The Eagles have problems this year, sure, but the Bears actively forced those problems into daylight. Chicago's secondary getting healthier mattered. Coverage tightened, windows closed, and Philly's famous timing and rhythm were strangled. The Eagles did manage a late touchdown, and their final 2-point attempt nearly had the theater vibe you expect in close games, but by then the Bears had already built a mountain. This win is more than a single box score brag. It's a turning point in narrative. Before Friday, skeptics could point to the Bears' bad resume against winning teams and say they were a paper tiger with close wins and negative point differential. After Friday, that math looks different. Beating an 8-3 Eagles team on the road in that manner says your record wasn't an illusion. It was the product of a team that's growing teeth. There's also a psychological edge here. The Bears now own 2 games with heavy meaning against division rival Green Bay and face the rest of the stretch with the kind of confidence that multiplies. When you beat a heavyweight on the road and do it by controlling the game, it's not just 3 standings points, it's proof. Proof shifts how teams prepare for you, how playbooks get read, and how referees see you in tight moments, not in the literal sense, but in the way games unfold when momentum is real. Don't sugarcoat the truth. The Eagles are not the machine they were last winter. Their offense has been brittle, their ability to sustain drives inconsistent. But the Bears didn't win because Philly underperformed. The Bears won because they executed an identity at a level that looked practiced, not improvised. That's the coach's dream. You want your team to act like yesterday's practice is today's game plan. That's what Ben Johnson has delivered, quickly. And Caleb Williams? This night carved a different notch in his season. The kid who was discussed as a franchise-altering rookie didn't require a dramatic fireworks display. He needed to be the quarterback who makes the right decision at the right time. That touchdown to Kmet felt like a declaration. He understands tempo, value, and when to let the run carry the day. It's leadership disguised in calmness, which is sometimes the loudest thing a quarterback can do. Now the stakes sharpen. The Bears are sitting in first place and can jump to even clearer control of the NFC North depending on what the Packers do this weekend. The Packers look dangerous, sure, and division vagaries are brutal. But when you have the run game humming, the secondary stabilizing, and a quarterback who can manage a game while making the necessary plays, you're not fragile, you're disciplined. That's the difference between a team that spikes one week and a team that runs through November and into pressure cooker playoff football. Here's the kicker. This win rewrites expectations, not with a single tweetable moment, but with a sustained method. Teams that are truly built for the postseason don't depend on scoring bursts. They drain clocks, they win the fourth quarter quietly, and they make the scoreboard an afterthought while everyone else chases yards. Chicago did exactly that. And if you're a Bears fan, the best part isn't the result, it's how the game felt. Coached, confident, and inevitable. So keep this image. Not the touchdown highlight or the celebratory hug with a coach. Keep the slow, grinding second quarter drive where the Bears made the game feel like theirs. That was the real statement. The flashy play at the end was just punctuation. If you're the opposing scout now, you mark the Bears differently. You plan to stop the run and hope to make a rookie QB throw under pressure. If you're Chicago, you keep doing what you did Friday. Run hard, protect the clock, and make teams play your game. Right now, that looks like the quickest way to win the division. And here's a last line for you to take home. Championships are rarely won in single explosions. They're won by teams who turn control into habit. On Black Friday, the Bears traded doubt for a habit. And habits, once established, are stubborn things. The Chicago Bears walked into Philadelphia on Black Friday and walked out with the kind of win that changes how an entire league talks about you. They beat the Philadelphia Eagles 24-15, and it never felt like Chicago was in danger. They controlled the game from the first drive, punched the Eagles in the mouth with a run game that looked straight out of a franchise highlight reel, and reminded everyone that the NFC North race isn't a two-team conversation. It's a Chicago problem now. This was the most complete Bears win of the season. They ran for 281 yards, steamrolling an Eagles defense that couldn't get off the field. D'Andre Swift and Kyle Monangai both hit the 100-yard mark, something the Bears hadn't pulled off with two running backs since 1985. Chicago wasn't just winning plays, they were dictating every possession. Philadelphia had only 2 first downs in the entire first half, and by the time the Eagles' offense found anything that looked like rhythm, the Bears had already built a cushion. Caleb Williams didn't need to play superhero football. He played winning football. Efficient, patient, and perfectly timed. When Chicago finally needed a dagger, Williams dropped a 28-yard touchdown to Cole Kmet in the fourth quarter to put the game away. It was simple. The run game softened the defense, Williams took the shot, and the Bears slammed the door. And the defense? It looked like a completely different unit. The secondary finally healthy, the front seven swarming, and the Eagles stuck in neutral all afternoon. Philadelphia